All right, Gio's not here, so I'm going to be doing all the comments, I think. I thought your audience survey and visualization at the beginning kind of sends us in a different direction than when you actually get to the topic. So I wasn't all that enthusiastic about it. When you got to the topic, though, once you got to what you were going to be talking about, you were very focused and well organized. You're making good progress on it. So I think that works pretty well. I was listening to a lot of the information, and the amount of citation that you have is good, although frequently you are citing sources that might be potentially biased. You know, the BMW company themselves, you're talking about how damn great they are, yeah. And that's a little bit self-serving. I like the more independent evaluations, like you had Edmonds and Kelly Blue Book information about the value. It was a little incongruent when you were talking about how at the beginning you say, well, you know, they are pretty affordable, and then you talked about how the used ones really have the highest Blue Book value. I'm going, okay, so the used ones, they're not really all that affordable after all, because they're holding their retail value pretty well. Now I'm screwed, you know. I think you need to do a little bit more audience analysis on this and figure out why this group of people should be considering a BMW. You never really talk about what the price is. You talk about, you know, the cost value when you're making the comparisons, and I thought that was fine. But let's face it, when you're talking about entry-level prices for this particular audience, my guess is that there aren't going to be a lot of people sitting here who are going, oh yeah, BMW, that's going to be on my shopping list. That'll be one of the cars that I'll consider. So you need to do a little bit more to generate a reason why this audience should care. Maybe if they're not making the decision now, but 5 years from now, 10 years from now, or for instance, if they are considering a used vehicle, you could show a little bit more how the used vehicles are more competitive. Everything else is pretty solid. Organization, source citations, like I said, all that's good. I like the voice when you're speaking very well. I think you do a good job, especially at the beginning when you're kind of talking about your personal experience. I think that comes across effectively. Your eye contact, you do look up at the audience pretty regularly, but you also have to look at the notes a lot. But it didn't seem like you were reading all the time. There are a few sections where it seemed like you were reading, but it seemed pretty clear when you were looking at the audience that you knew the subject, you knew what you were trying to say about it. So I just wish that you could make a little bit extra step there and kind of get away from having everything written out for you so that you could talk more about it. There's nice personification in a couple of places where you're doing some interesting things. And I did notice one thing at first. I thought, he's got gum, and then I said, nope, he's got dry mouth, because you know, it's like all of a sudden I could see your tongue, you know, and your lips, and you just looked a little bit uncomfortable there. Okay.